So welcome back to my 30-day redesign your business for boudoir photographers. And we're entering it into week 5, which it's kind of a final push. You know, we've been concentrating on quite a lot of things over the past weeks and things really. So it is kind of nearing our final stretch. You've done the heavy lifting and you've basically begun to rebuild your mindset, your pricing, your visuals, and of course your signature experience as well with it. Now we're entering the kind of the refinement phase. This week is about sharpening things up a little bit more so that every move we make, you're kind of here to look at them with more detail, a little bit more surgical, a little bit more intention, and to make sure they're obviously a lot more higher profitability for us and things. You aren't just finishing a challenge. Remember, this is not what this series is about. We're launching something for the future that is absolutely key. So during this week, we're going to be looking at refining the client potential the profile today, and then obviously we're looking at the kind of the content creation for kind of pillars for emails and so on with it. We're looking at auditing our social, looking at sales, and obviously kind of making sure that everything's tied up by the end of the week and things really. So today we're talking about really refining your ideal client profile, which is key. So at day 21, you know, one of the biggest mistakes that photographers make, I suppose, is trying to be a business for everyone. We've kind of touched on this a little bit already, but when you speak to everyone, you hear no one. A luxury brand is a magnet. It's designed to attract a very specific person. We talked about this in the first week. And just as importantly, we have to repel some people or focus on the one, repel everyone else. Okay, that's really down to kind of when we've got that niche absolutely controlled. So today we're refining that ideal client profile a little bit more. We're moving beyond the basic age and location, you know, 55-year-old woman within 10 miles of my studio, you know, blah, blah, blah. We're looking to get to the heart of who she is and what she is and why she is and why she needs to go through a kind of experience with us and things. So in our marketing, we need to kind of understand the clarity will attract more of an alignment to us and our brand. When our messaging is tailored to clearly define a person with every caption and every small detail, the email feels like a private conversation, like our social does as well. So we need to increase the conversions without selling harder as such, yeah? It's not just about asking her to dance. It's basically wooing her to dance as well, to pick up the phone or drop us an email to use the online booking, whatever we're going to be doing. And then we start to look at the kind of the creativity alignment as well. With our ideal client, we can kind of guide our creative decisions within the business development as well. If she is high-powered CEO, her posing and lighting should feel different than if she is a new mother reclaiming her body. Knowing her allows your work to feel intentional. And this is why we need to understand the client. We need to talk to the client. The session questionnaire that we ask is really important for us to make sure we understand a little bit more about kind of her job and where she does and what she loves and so on with it and things. Okay, because we need to really make a difference to her, not to everybody, remember. And as far as when we're trying to inspire her, we need to make sure that we're serving fewer people. Better is more powerful than serving everyone specifically, like we said. So the more we can look at her, the more we can kind of identify her, the more that we can understand what she really wants to kind of change her life, then we can change it significantly, but we can't do it for everybody, I promise you. We have to kind of concentrate on the few to maximize the business. So a clear ideal client allows you to stop being a generalist and start being the only logical kind of choice for her transformation. In the same way that this business, I've based it around boudoir photography. You could say, well, I can use it across my portrait business and everything else. Yes, you can. But there's going to be slightly different things because we're going to be nurturing the family, the children, a newborn, a pregnant woman, whatever it would be. So you have to kind of change these things around. So today we've got to look at the psychology behind the booking. First of all, a bit like I just mentioned the newborn, in fact, but the midnight thought. This is where they're kind of the one thing about her body and her confidence that keeps her awake at night is the one thing that we need to kind of fix. Not just because they're awake at night, all right? It's about the things that in themselves, oh, I really need to go to the gym more to work on this, or I really need to actually use a moisturizing cream to do this, and so on with it. So what is the one thing about her body or her confidence that needs to be changed so it stops her from kind of being awake at night? We also want a kind of an emotional destination, yeah? What does she hope to feel the moment she walks out of the studio? So we've talked about this again previously, but we need to design everything that we're doing around the client, nothing around the business. We need to fit the business to the client. That's absolutely key, yes? So when she walks out of the studio, how is that empowerment going to change her? How is she going to feel? Is it just going to be relief? Yeah. Is it going to feel an empowerment, or is there going to be a calm or a peacefulness to actually the way that she's changed herself because of the experience she's just had with us? And then, of course, we've got unique solutions. Out of all the photographers in the world, why is your specific brand the one that will solve her specific fear or kind of give her the most power as she walks out? This week, or she should say today, your task is to create a detailed one-page profile of your ideal client. When I first set up the Photographer Academy 15, 16 years ago, let's say, as an example, I went and I wanted the advanced amateur, what I referred to as Adams. And then from there, I basically fine-tuned my kind of whatever the word is, the general, into the specific. And I began to actually look at who am I actually really here to train. So I split myself into two halves. I'm here to train in business. That's the first part of the type of photographer I'm trying to attract in. And then I'm also trying to inspire the next generations of photographers. So I could literally speak to the kind of the one group and then to another group, but never the marketing was the same, as it were. So I want you to create that detailed one-page profile, as I said, for your ideal client. Go deep, include her demographics, her deepest fears, her secrets, her desires, the exact transformation she's seeking from you. Write as if you are describing a best friend, yeah? And if you can't do it yourself, gather people around you to help you build that profile, especially if you're a male photographer like I am. I want to kind of gather females around me. I'm lucky I've got an amazing wife, and she basically, together, we have created the business together. She literally runs the business of old, as it were. And together we've created these profiles for our clientele. And then once you've done that, I want to ask yourself, does everything I currently offer, from an Instagram aesthetic to my pricing page or page price list, actually align with the needs and desires of this specific woman? If not, we need to change it.